go try not to get mana screwed to death. So we want to go pick up the competitive constructed. No. Competitive draft, rather. Let's grab that. And have a look. All right, pack one. Huh. Okay, so let's discuss what we see here. We have no color combinations yet. The cards that draw your eye are the rare. The rare is a 6 for 3/3 that generates a fuck ton of tokens. Presuming you have a board that does that. This is like the reason to. This could be a white-red aggro deck and could be a finisher in that. I don't think it has a lot of synergy with much of anything else because otherwise 6 for a 3/3 is very, very expensive. You need a wide deck to make that work. We could try to do a white-red wide deck. They never work for me, but we could try it. The other ones that are exciting on here, Luminous Bonds. This is the best white common. Stag is probably the second or third best white common, like really solid as well. Both of these are really good. Luminous Bonds is premium removal. That just, I mean, it's not premium because it doesn't kill the creature, but it's still pretty damn good. For 3, it's a fairly good price. It's just really solid. Symbiote's decent but slow and requires committing to 2 colors on the first pick. I don't think I want to grab that yet, but a 3 for a 3/3 flyer that both makes them discard a card and makes you draw a card for 6 mana is pretty damn good. It's a really high card advantage engine if you can get it going. And then the Brawl Bash Ogre is hilarious, but I feel like not actually that good. You have to make that +2/+2 sacrifice basically when you declare the attack, so you can't use it as a combat trick in reaction, unlike like the Omnivore from Dominaria, which makes this card a lot less appealing to me. So rest of these cards are everything, like the Revitalize down, cancel down, uncomfortable chill down, all that. Thank you. Is all. Actually, can you bring that back in like 10 minutes, half hour maybe? I'm gonna be talking for half hour and I can't take a break for this. So. All of that makes this pretty unexciting, the other stuff here. So for me, we could try Alina. Giving up a Bonds for Alina is going to make all of our... The best pick here is Bonds. This is the safest, most reasonable pick right now. If we want to try to force an archetype, we can grab Lina and hope we get offered red and white cards. I don't think Lina will be here when it comes around again. It'd kind of be fun to play with this. I haven't dragged this card yet. I think the safe pick is Bonds, but I think the fun pick, the pick is of a card I haven't played with yet, is Lina. Let's grab Lina and feel really salty if we can't make this deck work. That would help with my current salt level. I can imagine just a little bit more salt would be perfect. A lot of good cards in this pack as well. No white cards, really. The rare's missing. So I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if there's a guaranteed distribution of number of cards. I guess not, because it could... just one of each, couldn't be second one. So the Hellion is a fairly weak 7/3 minion. It's a 7/3 trampler, but whenever you attack with it or block with it, it gets shuffled back into the library, and that's assuming it doesn't die. If it dies from that attack or block, it's gone. Well, it goes to your graveyard. The Boggart Brute is actually really, really solid. 3/2 Menace for 3 is probably the best body I can hope for an aggressive aggro deck like this. But it's committing to a color for a common that's probably going to be there. Meteor Golem is totally solid, but very, very slow. It's a body that removes something. Probably, again, the safe pick. If we had Luminous Bonds and Meteor Golem as our first 2 picks, we'd be in pretty damn good shape. We'd be committed only to white, still have artifacts open. We can still do that by grabbing the Meteor Golem. I kind of want the Brute. Other ones that come up as relevant are the Dragon. 5 for a 3/3 is okay. That sometimes at 8 is a little bit better. But I think 8 is way too slow most of the time, so I rarely get to play that card. I don't like red in this draft either, which makes me less excited to play Brute, except that I already have a Lina, and I'm kind of considering going red-white aggro wide. Again, safe pick, the Meteor Golem, forcing our current archetype could be the Boggart Brute. I kind of want to just smack people in the face with fucking white-red right now. Already have a very expensive card for that deck. I think I'm going to go Brute. Stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I want that Brute, but I think I'm going to go Golem. It's really close for me. A Bonds seems like a snap pick here. So white-black, dual land. The Artificer's okay. Gives combat artifact creatures +2/+2 and indestructible, and it's a 3/3 body for 4, which is totally reasonable. The Axe is totally reasonable, although it uses mana stuff. This is premium removal both on offense and defense in the color we're trying to cut, and also the color we're playing. The black Bloodletter is decent. These other cards are fairly unexciting. The Dwindle's okay. The Rejuvenator's okay. But from this, the removal just seems really solid. This is pretty unexciting. We haven't picked a second color yet. There's a couple options here. The Animator for artifacts if we end up blue-white. The Druid of the Cowl if we end up green-white. The Druid of the Horns. So this is just a very solid 1/3 creature for blocking and mana purposes. Just a good creature, right? Ramps you up a little bit, lets you saturate your mana later, or rather lets you play mana intensive abilities in the mid game, like all the anti-blocking stuff we did with the last M19 deck. The Animator, of course, making 5/5s out of artifacts on tempo. Druid of the Horns with an aura deck. We could do auras. We could cast Luminous Bonds on our own Druid of the Horns to remove it from play and get a 3/3. That could be really strong. Super good synergy there. The Archer's less exciting to me. I don't think the Animator is relevant with the Golem. You're always going to have played the Animator before the Golem, unless you draw it in the other order, I suppose, at very late in the game. The Act of Treason is the kind of fuck you item here on this board, where it's like, fuck you, I'm going all in, Act of Treason this. Book the Divine is playable. I think the Drill Master is a little bit weak to play. I think I would be tempted to pick up the Cowl or the Druid of Horns. There is a white-green enchantment aura deck that's pretty strong. That could be a thing. The Druid of the Cowl is probably a better green card, though. Leaves us a little bit more open. Again, like this card, this is a greedy pick. Right now, if we had Luminous Bonds, Meteor Golem, we'd be in such good shape. But let's grab the Druid of the Cowl. The Minotaur is okay, too. But let's grab the Druid of the Cowl and see if anything shows up. Instigator's premium card here. The white's not very exciting. We're not going to go pure green, so that's not very exciting. The Bristling Boar is okay. Really good with an aura deck, so that's a decent pick for the things we picked up already. Although we have no auras, so the aura deck is just in our mind right now, right? Pyromancer's of whatever 2/1. The Instigator is tokens, and red-white going wide is the dream. So I'm going to pick up the Instigator. Motivator has synergy in that same red-white deck. The Pledge has a little tiny bit of synergy. The artifacts for other things. The Apparatus is fine for that red-white wide deck. It threatens to remove a creature that is in the way for blocking you. The Motivator's fine too. I'm not so excited about the Motivator that I want to do that, but it does threaten a lot of pressure sometimes. I think I'd rather stay open and grab the Apparatus. Salvager's good, but I don't think we're in blue right now. Let's grab the Apparatus. Pack Beast, Pyromancer, Minotaur, Blue-Green Duel, Rocks Oracle, Titanic Growth. These are all good. Everything in here is good. Packs come from M19. Do you really want to track that? Yeah, I do. I want to track the win-loss conditions here. So everything in here is good. This is a totally playable 1/3. This is a totally playable 2/3 with synergy with our Meteor Golem and our Explosive Apparatus. Salvager Secret's great, but I don't think we're in blue right now. Two-Headed Zombies is an okay aggro card. I don't think we're in black right now.
Welcome back.
I think we are straddling white, red, green right now.
To civilization after 6 months, and I now get to enjoy some quality filthy content. Any plans to revisit Battle Brothers when the DLC drops?
Hey Zargi, welcome back to Civilization. Glad you're back on the channel too. Thanks for the resub. I don't know yet about the Battle Brothers. Depends on the quantity of content that is changed by that. Is the answer to that. Titanic for wide, I don't actually think is a particularly wide effect. Maybe. But I'm not planning on going white-green wide. If I go green, we're doing something else. The Oracle is just a very solid draw card at 5. It's a body. Not a great body. It's just a solid draw card, though, I think. I don't think it's necessarily much better than Scholar Star. It's roughly the same. The Minotaur is the stuff I want to go. The Pack Beast has the most synergy. I'm going to grab the Pack Beast, but I could be talked into the Minotaur. It's good too. I want to force the white-green, or the white-red, if I can. Alright, Inspired Charge is one of those cards I want in this deck, as is Dwarven Priest. Grab the charge. Crash Through. It's just a cycle card, maybe. Revitalize, not so much. Nothing else here is playable, really. The chill if I do blue, but I'm not. Let's take the Crash Through. I'll take the Swift Claw as a 3/1 body. Take the Active Treason as something that might get played in this type of deck. Take the Invoke the Divine as a sideboard card over a second Active Treason. Take the second Invoke the Divine. Take a Knight's Pledge and a Woodland Stream. Make a Stand's another one of those cards that does really good work with red-white. Shock's totally decent. Axe is totally decent. The Enchanters for the white-green deck that I don't think we're doing right now. Reclamation Sage is a body attached to to Invoke the Divine, which I like. I think the Invocation is a trap. I think it's too expensive and too RNG heavy to actually, I mean, when it hits, it's amazing. When it misses, you're like, oh, I just spent 7 mana and lost the game. Amazing. I don't think it's early enough to pick Minotaur or late enough to pick Minotaurs. I think this is Make a Stand. I want to go wide with ridiculous effects, and that's one of them. There's a lot of good green cards in here, but let's cut the white a little bit and then see if we can get that coming around again. Pride Mate on life gain effects. Angel of the Dawn's a very premium wide card. I just need some token generators now. The rest of them that stand out are not a lot here. The Diamond Mare is fine, but not for what we're doing. The Pride Mate's great. If you have any life game synergy, it's much better in white-black than it is, for example, in white-red. I'm taking the Angel of the Dawn. It's another wide effect. Bugler has really good synergy with what we're trying to do, as does the Havoc Devils. Thud's okay. Got the Thud and Active Treason, but I'm thinking the Bugler. This is value, as well as a body, as well as white. Sure Strike's a very solid red combat trick. I'm getting a bit worried about my creature count at the moment. Starting to see a lot of spells we're playing. I mean, if we look at this, probably not green anymore. Definitely not green-blue. Those are not getting main decked. These are questionable main decks. We're not necessarily red right now either. At the moment, we're white. We can do white aggro. It's definitely a thing. If I look at it that way, I think I'm pushed a little harder towards the Drill Master over the Sure Strike. I like Sure Strike more than I like Drill Master. But this is good for a wide board. Let's play the Drill Master. Big green dude who's totally decent. Tormenting Voice is a red. Sun Cleanser is a fairly weak. I mean, it's a 1/4, which is great stats for 2, but his text is pretty useless. Second Pack Beast is a little bit aggressive. I don't want any of these cards is what it boils down to. Take the Pack Beast. Third Pack Beast. Lava Axe, Smelt, Knight's Pledge. Are we even red right now? I don't want a second Pledge. I'll pick this Lava Axe up and be disappointed with this deck. Motivator versus Minotaur. With this deck, I think Minotaur is fine. Yeah, that's the problem with the Drill Master, right? Is it's not a combat trick. It's just a 2/1 body, which is pretty pathetic. For 2 and 0's first strike is like, you generally get like 4 damage out of it. I don't think Sure Strike is relevant here. I'm not sure I'm playing red right now, and I don't want another combat trick. I have the wide combat tricks, which are much more interesting to me. I just need some token generation to go with them. The Motivator's a little bit interesting to me, but I'm worried we're not going to play red, or if we do play red, it's not going to be a lot of red, so having too much red mana is going to screw us. More likely to have red on this at the late game. I don't know. The motivator gets a lot of value sometimes. I think we'll get another Minotaur. Let's take the motivator. Speculate. Yeah, this is only the pledge. We're not playing it. Satyr came around. Another pack beast. There's a Minotaur. I'll pick that up here. I don't think we have enough auras to be excited about that. I don't really want to play green with this. Pyromancer as a 2-drop. Sure. Linebreaker as a 3-drop. Sure, we're getting some creatures in here now. Feel good about that. I think Knight of the Tusk is too slow. I don't really want to play double cast in this deck. I suppose you could double cast Inspired Charge for 6 mana and get the fucking live the dream. But I can't imagine we're playing a 6, a 7, and another 7. I'll pick the double cast, but we're not playing it. Alright, this is just junk that we're not playing. I'm essentially picking cards at random there. Alright, Sword is decent for us. Generates wider boards. The Priest is decent for us. It lets us race a little bit better. Second Chanter, second Sage. The 4-2 isn't terrible, although it's not great. I think I'm going to take the Sword and be pretty happy about it. I love this card. I think the card's nuts. But I'm certainly nowhere near those color combinations. Swiftclaw as a body. It's a very unexciting pack for us again. Don't really want to be playing a bunch of Swiftclaws. There's a lot of 1/3s in this format. Gutter Snipe versus Boggart Brute. I really like the Boggart Brute. I don't know that we have so many instants that I care about that. We're not playing like the red-blue instant nuking deck. I think Skyscanner or Brute comes out here. I think it's going to be Brute. Having a flyer might be nice to get some damage in. Let's get the Menace creature. Second, Make a Stand versus Marauder's Axe versus Catalyst Elemental versus Chaplain. None of these are exciting. It's very, very slow to equip weapons. They're like a value thing. Second, Make a Stand seems greedy, but maybe. All right, Brute, Drillmaster, Artificer. Okay with the Drillmaster. We're starting to see quite a few wide things for some damage. Trumpet Blast. I don't want a Trumpet Blast on top of a Make a Stand plus 2 Make a Stands plus a Inspired Charge. I actually think Trumpet Blast is the least good of those 3 too. So I guess it's okay. We'll take the 3/2. Don't know if we're playing it yet. Another double cast, Mighty Leap, or an Act of Treason. I don't have a single target combat trick, but I don't want a million combat tricks. I might prefer the Act of Treason here. This deck is looking terrible, by the way. Scepter, Crash Through, Combat Element, or Catalyst Elemental. Take this, but we're not playing it. The Dwarven Priest Wield, I'm okay with that. Also okay with the 4/2. Currently we have no removal. We have 1 Bonds and 1 Meteor Golem. No flying blockers. So we're hoping to push through on the ground with just wide effects. I think the Priest might be good for us with that. Better than the Ogre. Tonic Rift is another combat trick. Feels not great. We'll put it in. Another Inspired Charge, sure. Not playable cards. This deck looks terrible to me. We tried to force something off our first pick, and we should have just instead gone Luminous Bonds and built a white-black control deck. And Trumpet Blast Wield too. All right, so we have 5 buff cards that we're not running. And we have a very shallow sideboard. Okay, so let's get rid of the Crash Throughs. Get rid of the Knight's Pledge to begin with. I think the... Wait, what happened to the... Did it double draft Forest from lag as opposed to taking the Trumpet Blast? That's fine. I don't want a Trumpet Blast, but it's done that to me a couple times when I click quickly towards the end of a draft. It's kind of a little troll. Don't want the Rift. It's our one flyer, huh? Yeah, some Rustwing Falcons would have been great in this deck. Oh, there's a Trumpet Blast. Okay. I don't know about 2 Acts of Treason. So we've got a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2. So we got 6 2s. Seems like a lot. Get the Motivator on 1. Bunch of 3s. Have no draw. 2 Make a Stands. 2 Inspired Charges is too many. And we got some big drops we want at the end. Need to cut 4 cards. What's our creature curve look like? 18 creatures right now. Pack beasts seem a little sketchy. $16 creatures now. Double Inspired Charge seems a little optimistic. I'm going to keep the double indestructible one though. One more card. Too bad we didn't get 2 brutes in the end. Thought we did draft 2 brutes. Did we not get 2 brutes in? Menace so good for us. Not feeling Motivator. Just tempo. Kind of feeling Motivator just fine. Not even against the second Act of Treason here. So maybe Explosive Apparatus, though it can go face. Don't have one more card. I feel like the Lava Axe is kind of a must. Might be dead some of the time. Double Make a Stand. Yeah, I like Double Make a Stand just fine. Maybe the Lava Axe. Goal is to kill him going wide. Gives us some reach, but maybe not enough. All right, let's play with this as is. We need to get a couple more red mana in here. Only double white is later. Nine, 8 seems fine. The axe gives needed reach. Alright, let's play the golem versus the axe and see how we feel about it. I just like bodies on the board. We have 3 wide charge effects and 2 more in sideboard. So I feel like our play is tempo, tempo, tempo. I mean, the Act of Treason is the one that I'm not so sure about. Maybe that could be instead of an axe. But we'll see. Let's check it out. What is this deck about? Oops. Oh my god, what's the capitalization for that? Someone give me a salt icon in chat. We were getting lots of them earlier. When you spam PJSalt at streamers, what do you do for that? Is it caps? It's caps. Right, thanks. Oh, it won't let me do caps. Yes, it will. Okay. Thank you. All right.